Unusual home robot from Toyota. Barista robot from OrionStar. Avatar robots in Japanese supermarkets. A new video of the most giant robot in the world. The system of creating humanoid robots Mesmer, and other high-tech news in this one video. Toyota Research Institute held a virtual presentation of virtual robotics events, where they showed a home robot hung up at the ceiling. The prototype manipulator is just one of the robots that TRI is working on, with a focus on creating home robots for the elderly. As the Institute CEO Gil Pratt pointed out, Toyota engineers are doing a tremendous amount of work to bring robots out of an era of demonstration and make it accessible to the general public. And preserving the quality and independence of life for Japan's aging population is a top priority for the company. The difficulty is that the homes have completely different layouts and environments, and this is why a robot moving on the ceiling can be a brilliant situation. Plus, this design can make the robot lighter, which solves the problem of power, maneuverability, and gives its sensors an unprecedented view for orientation. Toyota also recently introduced a soft grip for its home robots, developed at TRI's subsidiary in Cambridge, Massachusetts. These passively flexible, air-filled grips make it easy to handle many different types of objects. Inside the air-filled hollow cushions, there are cameras that monitor the pattern from dots on the inside of the soft membrane. When the outer part of the bubble comes into contact with an object, the grip surface deforms, and the camera can track changes in the dot pattern inside to determine the direction and amount of force applied. OrionStar, a robotics company that Cheetah Mobile has invested in, announced the launch of Robotic Coffee Master sales worldwide. You could already see this robot in our release dedicated to the robot exhibition in China. The robot is able to perform complex manipulations when brewing coffee according to the author's recipes, thanks to 3,000 hours of neural network training and 3,000 hours of robot hand testing and machine vision training. The Robotic Coffee Master performs movements with millimeter precision and stability. The robot is equipped with a depth camera and RGB illumination, which provides real-time monitoring of robotic arms as well as beverage status. A constantly switching on indicator shows the robot's operating status. A self-adjuster mechanical clamp with a gripper easily moves objects. Safety functions include the emergency shutdown, collision detection, and electronic safety limits. The modular design, equipped with the OrionStar ARM operating system, allows for customization, personalization, and rapid deployment of the robot. Japan's Family Mart store has introduced Teleexistence's Model T, wheeled robots capable of grabbing, moving, picking up and placing bottles, cans, and other solid goods on shelves. The 2-meter system is equipped with cameras, a microphone, sensors, and 3-finger grip. Family Mart intends to implement 3 robots by the end of 2020, and by 2022, dozens of such devices will arrive in 20 stores of the company. Moreover, in the future, the developers expect to make Model T fully autonomous, while the robots are controlled by a human using a VR complex. The robot works slower. For one product, it takes an average of 8 seconds compared to 5 seconds required by a person. On the other hand, one person can control several robots in succession in different stores. Interestingly enough, Telex is not planning to sell its robots. The machines will be provided to businesses for rent. There are new details about how the most giant robot in the world will move. The Gundam robot in Yokohama, Japan, which is due to be presented to the public by the end of this year, has a height of 18 meters and 24 degrees of freedom. The robot weighs about 25 tons. Interestingly, GGC Research Open Simulator has developed an open platform for software and hardware using Gundam CG data to create a system that allows young people from around the world to participate in the robot's development. The goal is to contribute to the development of robotics and the future creation of true Gundam. Bear Robotics, a company dealing with robotics and artificial intelligence, and the Japanese conglomerate SoftBank Robotics Group, have teamed up to present a new robot named Servi for restaurants and hotels. Servi is capable of delivering foods and drinks independently on its 2 trays. The experts believe that this is how SoftBank demonstrates its frustration with humanoid robots after its unsuccessful attempt to find a wide market for the Prepper robot. Origin Spectral Interpretation Research Identification Security Regolith Explorer, or OSIRIS-REx is an American automatic interplanetary station designed to deliver soil samples from the Bennu asteroid. On October 20, the OSIRIS-REx mission made the first attempt to collect touch-and-go samples. The spacecraft will not only move to the surface using innovative methods of navigation, but it will also be able to collect the largest samples since the Apollo missions. OSIRIS-REx will go into the near-Earth asteroid bin and bring the soil sample to Earth for study. Engineered Arts has released a video dedicated to its system for creating realistic Mesmer humanoid robots. The system includes hardware such as motors, electronics and connectors, sensors which include cameras, depth sensors, lidars and microphones, and software to control animation, interaction, sound and lighting. The key advantage of Engineered Arts entertainment robots is intuitive operation. An accurate 3D model in the browser simulates the capabilities of a real robot, and user-friendly animation tools allow you to quickly achieve the desired effect without programming skills. Researchers at the University of California, San Diego have developed a new method for 3D printing artificial muscles in wearable devices. The researchers have proven that by controlling the printing temperature of liquid crystal elastomer, they can control a material's rigidity and its ability to compress. Moreover, they can change the stiffness of different parts of the same material by exposing it to heat. As proof of this concept, the researchers printed several samples with the same ink on a 3D printer, whose stiffness and compressibility varies from 0 to 30%. For example, one area of the structure may contract like a muscle, and the other may be flexible like tendons. The Robotics System Lab of Zurich School of Engineering demonstrated the use of the Menzi Muck M545 telestepping excavator to clear a slope from the stones after a landslide in central Switzerland. The machine can be operated from a teleoperating platform with visual and motion feedback. The excavator itself is equipped with an active chassis which can adapt to uneven terrain. French startup Exotech Solutions has created the concept of a fully automated 3D warehouse for retail, with SkyPod 3D bots that move horizontally and vertically and complete orders. The company has already attracted over $111 million from investors who will spend on international expansion. Exotech said that their automated system allows retailers and online stores to increase warehouse productivity by 4 times and increase their capacity by 5 times. The autonomous SkyPod 3D robots can move at speeds of up to 4 meters per second. The container cell system and bot software are also part of Exotech's development. Interbotics presented the research of the MK4 hexapod, which looks like a cartoon villain. The robot is designed as an accessible platform for teachers and fans of robotics. The hexapod uses open-source engines from Inverse Kinematics Gate Engines, a wireless command protocol, and the Arbotics controller. Amazon introduced the Amazon One technology, which accepts payments by identifying customers' palm, line, curves, and vein patterns. According to the company, this payment method allows you to maintain confidentiality, ensuring the appropriate level of security. The user needs to create an electronic fingerprint of the palm and tie it to the bank account. Algorithms based on the computer vision and palm pattern reading equipment have been developed at Amazon. To bind a palm to your card, you only need the card details and a phone number. You can remove the fingerprint at any time. The British emergency service Great North conducted flight tests of a jet suit for paramedics in Lake District National Park. During the test, Richard Browning, the founder of Gravity Industries and the costume designer, traveled to the injured in just 90 seconds, which would have taken 25 minutes on foot. The location of the test was not chosen by chance, but based on the call data. Although the medical team was very impressed with the results of the experiment, they admitted that they still have concerns about how this technology could work in the actual real-world scenarios. Researchers from the University of Cambridge, together with Beko, taught the robot to make an omelet without human help. This required the use of 2 manipulators, computer vision, probing, and time calculation. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment down below. Let us know, are you ready to let integrated robots into your home? Transformer robot, robot wolf, new DJI drones, flying cab in the US, and other high-tech news in one issue. Watch till the end and like and subscribe to the channel. The Aquanaut underwater transformer robot emerged from the NASA test pool into the ocean. The Aquanaut is the unmanned underwater vehicle that can transform from a maneuverable submarine designed for long-distance travel to a semi-humanoid robot capable of performing complex manipulation tasks with 2 manipulators. It can check underwater oil and gas infrastructure, operate valves, and use tools. Aquanaut works without tethering and doesn't need support ship, which developers say will save its buyers a lot of money. The all-electric robot can travel more than 200 kilometers underwater and 13 kilometers an hour, as it has a maximum operating depth of 300 meters. A group of researchers from the research center CAR developed an underwater humanoid robot, DiverBot, for walking and work on the seabed. The humanoid robot has been developed to colonize the seabed and work as farmers with new approaches in the area of food production. This research discusses a prototype design for a hybrid robot that moves like a submarine in one configuration and like a humanoid in another. This hybrid design allows the robot to move effectively on the work surface and execute its functions on that surface with human-like movements. Nature inspired engineers at UNSW Sydney to develop a soft-tissue robotic gripper that behaves like an elephant's trunk, grabbing, lifting, and releasing objects without breaking them. Researchers say the versatile technology could be widely used in sectors where fragile objects are handled, such as agriculture, food processing, science, resource exploration, and as a personal assistive device, or even in human rescue operations. RE2 Robotics Incorporated, which has received more than $1 million from the U.S. Army as part of its development of the Autonomous Accident Relief Program, is also looking to rescue victims. The company plans to develop a mobile manipulation robot that will allow combat medics to remotely assess and evacuate wounded soldiers from the battlefield. The HDMS includes robotic arms, intuitive controllers, and advanced software for autonomous operation. The robot itself, with a payload capacity of 136 kilograms, will be mounted on unmanned vehicles. Its software will be able to recognize and track casualties on the battlefield using advanced computer vision and will also be responsible for the maneuvering. The Ambidex robot being developed by Naver Labs has gained the ability to learn the physical intelligence of people. Physical intelligence refers to the motor abilities that occur naturally in humans, but are difficult to digitize. For example, a person unconsciously understands how to put jam on bread, but it is extremely difficult to program a robot to do this. To overcome this, scientists developed a tactile device with 7 degrees of freedom, replicating the size and capabilities of a human hand, and a 2-way remote control that enables force transmission in both directions between the human and the robot. With this device, engineers were able to give the robot material to learn using a variety of methods, such as reinforcement learning. This proved to be so effective that the robot was able to successfully perform the tasks on its own after just one demonstration. DJI introduced the new Mini 2 drone. The ultra-lightweight and compact folding drone provides 4K shooting at 30 frames per second, 10-kilometer video transmission, and a running time of 31 minutes. The Mini 2 can handle wind speeds of 29 to 38 kilometers an hour and soars up to 4,000 meters. The 12-megapixel camera is mounted on a 3-axis motorized stabilizer gimbal. If something didn't work, the DJI application with smart photo optimization technology will automatically improve the picture after downloading. It's also possible to create clips with filters and soundtrack, as well as create a plan of flight in advance. The manufacturer claims that the control of the drone has become more efficient and safer thanks to the smart return home features, as well as automatic takeoff and accurate stop. The price is 46,000 rupees or $600. The company also introduced a new agricultural drone, DJI Agras T20, with omnidirectional digital radar, which can detect obstacles in all horizontal directions. The drone is resistant to dust and water and has a real-time camera with a first-person view and 2 spotlights, allowing users to get a full picture even at night. Flyability's Helios 2 helped researchers examine the Unit 5 of Chernobyl nuclear power plant to determine if uranium was still present, as no information had been preserved in the archives. Prior to this mission, Reactor 5 had not been explored since the disaster in April of 1986. Using Helios 2, pilots were able to fly Unit 5 and collect enough visual data to determine that the pools were empty and there was no nuclear waste anywhere inside. Researchers at TU Delft, together with the Royal Netherlands Navy, have developed a hydrogen-powered drone that can take off and land vertically and can also fly effectively horizontally for hours, like conventional aircrafts. The drone uses hydrogen and batteries as its power source. Boston Dynamics unveiled an updated version of Spot 2.1. The developers identified common problems Spot customers encountered in its first year of use and tried to address them, as well as making it easier for users to connect sensors, collect and store data, as well as integrate data into existing systems. The new features of version 2.1 unlock Spot's full data collection potential and lay the groundwork for new features coming early next year, such as self-charging and remote control. SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket lifted off from the ISS from the Cape Canaveral Cosmodrome in Florida. This is the first regular manned mission by a private company commissioned by NASA. 9 minutes after launch, the first stage rocket successfully landed on a floating platform in the Atlantic. Another 3 minutes later, Crew Dragon, separated from the second stage of the rocket, entered its orbit and headed for the ISS. The mission of the 4 astronauts delivered to the ISS by Elon Musk will last for 6 months. Walmart has announced a partnership with Cruise to test an autonomous delivery service that will begin in early 2021, starting with Scottsdale, Arizona. Customers will be able to place an order and receive their item via contactless delivery. Initially, Cruise's autonomous vehicles will be tested with an assisted drivers on board, but over time, the company will move to fully autonomous deliveries. In the city of Takikawa, Japan, bears are scared away by robotic wolves. In the past year, 157 citizens have been attacked by bears, but since the installation of monster wolves, there have been no attacks. The robot was created by the mechanical engineering company Ota Seiko. It is covered with artificial fur, its eyes glow, and its head can rotate in different directions. In the near future, the U.S. Army plans to deploy groups of semi-autonomous robot tanks armed with machine guns, missiles, and other weapons. 2 classes of the new RCV line of combat robots are already under development, and a third is in the pipeline. In the coming years, the U.S. Army plans to use them from combat operations, both on the battlefield and for radio-electronic blockades. As a result, the ground troops will receive support of light reconnaissance vehicles, heavily armed mini-tanks, and powerful artillery units. So it looks like in just 5 years there will be a flying cab in the United States. Lilium, the world's best-funded, electric flying vertical takeoff and landing vehicle startup, is responsible for it. To date, it has raised $391 million in investments. The company apparatus will be able to carry 5 passengers to a distance of up to 300 kilometers. The startup not only develops the apparatus itself, but it's also going to build vertiport systems by integrating it into existing infrastructure of American cities. Although Lilium's flight test program was delayed due to a fire in March that destroyed its first full-scale prototype, the company plans to launch a flying cab service in as early as 2025. The reason SoftBank acquired Aldebaran and Boston Dynamics was leaked online, but it's a joke. Weeks later, we all know that Hyundai Motor Group acquires majority stake in Boston Dynamics. Subscribe to the channel, like and share this video on all your social media platforms. What kind of robots Boston Dynamics will create after this sale to Hyundai Motor Group? Elon Musk's Starship crashed, Moli Robotics' Robot Chef finally entered the market, and other high-tech news. Hyundai Motor Group bought an 80% stake in Boston Dynamics from the Japanese conglomerate SoftBank. The amount of the deal varies according to different sources. Some say Boston Dynamics is valued at around $1.1 billion, while others say Hyundai paid $921 million. Either way, it's expected to change the course of robotics development. Hyundai says its investment will help develop service and logistics robots, but over time, it hopes to create more humanoid robots to care for the elderly. Other areas of interest for the company include autonomous driving and smart factories. Hyundai has its own robotics division, Hyundai Robotics, which now focuses mainly on industrial robots as well as the development of unusual concepts such as the Elevate walking car, unveiled at CES 2019. Hyundai executives are confident that the robot will account for 20% of its business in the future and plan to invest nearly $1.5 billion in their development by 2025. It is possible that Hyundai intends to use them in its factories. Perhaps one of these robots will be the Handle Boston Dynamics, which, according to company founder Mark Reibert, should become the second commercial robot. The third, by the way, is expected to be commercialized by the Atlas robot. Hyundai became the third owner of Boston Dynamics after Google and SoftBank. What the company plans to do with the world's most famous robot manufacturer, we will know in the near future. Interstellar spacecraft Elon Musk's Starship, or rather its prototype SN8, crashed during a flight test landing on December 10th. The prototype, as planned, was able to take off at 12.5 kilometers, but during a vertical landing, it failed to brake in time and crashed, destroying the landing platform. One of Raptor's 3 engines shut down after about 2 minutes of flight. Then a second engine shut down about 3 more minutes later, and then a third. Starship went horizontal and began descending. The engines turned back on as it approached the ground to slow the rocket down and bring it to an upright position. However, the landing was hard and ended with an explosion of the prototype. As Musk explained on Twitter, the explosion happened due to low pressure in the fuel tank during the landing, which caused the landing speed to be high. At the same time, he noted that all important data was obtained, acknowledged the test success, and congratulated the entire SpaceX team. The previous Starship prototype was only equipped with 1 engine and could fly only 150 meters into the air. Several other prototypes had been deliberately destroyed to test the strength of certain engines. The company is now preparing to test SN9 and SN10. Moly Robotics, a British startup with Russian roots, has finally unveiled a commercial version of its robo-cooker. The machine takes food out of the fridge, prepares breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then cleans the kitchen. The cost of the robot is equal to a small yacht or an average house in the UK and is $330,000. The company expects to lower it with the launch of mass production. The system is ceiling-mounted and consists of 2 robotic arms. The latter exactly replicate the anatomy of a human hand, but with the added advantage that the arms rotate 360 degrees. Roboroks are able to work with the usual kitchen equipment. The menu includes 30 unusual dishes from chefs and 5,000 standard options. The kitchen can also keep track of food in the fridge and will be able to work with voice assistants in the future as well. Friends, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It motivates us to create new content, and don't forget to share. Dexai Robotics also introduced a chef robot. The Alfred 2.0 system includes a robot, 2 tooling areas, a bowl feeder arm, and an electronics housing with 2 refrigeration units. The modular robot can retrieve ingredients from the refrigerator or draw from special containers. The biggest advantage of the robot is the ability to change attachments for each type of food. The robot learns from its own mistakes and can take orders from the app. The wear and tear of the equipment is monitored by the software. In the future, Alfred will learn to work with a grill, a fryer, coffee makers, and other standard kitchen appliances. Researchers at the Northwestern University have created a centimeter-long robot composed of 90% water and movement by light and magnetic fields. The robot can move underwater through narrow passageways with complex routes. Researchers say that the robot is capable of lifting and carrying cargo and then dropping it at the right point. Deep Robotics demonstrated in a new video how its 4-legged robot Weighing can track objects and dodge obstacles. The robot's controller consists of 8 deep neural networks responsible for certain skills and a separate neural network that integrates all algorithms to perform complex movements. By the way, this robot was featured on the cover of Science Robotics magazine. Startup Monarch Tractor has unveiled a fully electric autonomous tractor using deep learning, which the company says is already being tested on hundreds of farms. All information about the machine's operation comes to the user's smartphone. The tractor collects and analyzes a lot of data and even gives yield predictions. Monarch costs less than the Spot robot at only $50,000. Russia hosted an international online conference on artificial intelligence, the Artificial Intelligence Journey of 2020. Speakers at the conference included heads of state from Russia and Kazakhstan who acknowledged that artificial intelligence technology has moved from the realm of science fiction to a standard prerequisite for the future development of any country. The delivery robot Rover by Yandex began delivering food from restaurants in some cities near the center district of Moscow. To get a robo delivery, you have to select it on the app, and if there's an order, it will bring it to the door of the customer's building. The customer has to go down to the robot himself, and the robot's container is opened by pressing a button on the app. The Yandex Rover builds itself a map of the area using LiDAR and plans its route as it goes, but it cannot navigate curbs and stairs at this point. Russian company Gasgar Group introduced a drone port. The roof of the terminal slides sideways, and underneath it there is a takeoff pad for the drone with a mechanism for securing its supports and an availability sensor. Inside of it, there are two manipulators. One changes the drone's battery, and the other is responsible for the drone off and on switch with just the push of a button. Before the drone takes off, a built-in weather station detects current flight conditions, and there's a climate control inside the drone port. The roof is able to heat itself, allowing it to melt accumulated ice and snow if necessary. And after landing, the drone can send all collected materials with photos, videos, and other data to cloud storage. Subscribe to the channel, guys. It motivates us to make new and interesting content for you. Hey, and while you're here, give us a like if you liked this video. News from Elon Musk, a drone powered by an ion engine, an amphibious robot dog, and other high-tech news. Elon Musk announced the creation of a compact version of the Tesla for the European market. It turns out that the Gigafactory Tesla built near Berlin is not just a production, but also an engineering and design center that will produce the company's new car. Elon Musk said he wants to give the European talents the opportunity not to adapt what has been developed for Americans, but to create something new with a distinctive design. SpaceX set a new record for the 7th time by launching and returning the same first stage of Falcon 9 rocket. Interestingly, the previous launch of this stage in August was the 100th anniversary launch for the Falcon 9 rockets. Elon Musk is going to extend the beta testing of the Starlink satellite internet to high-speed trains and planes. SpaceX has already applied to the U.S. Federal Communications Commission with a request to allow the use of Starlink terminals on Gulfstream business-class aircrafts. The company also filed a similar application to test Starlink on ships owned by SpaceX, which are used to land reusable rockets. The range of the Tesla semi-truck will reach 1,000 kilometers or 621 miles, according to Musk, who spoke about it in a recent interview. Tesla Semi will be equipped with a new battery with an energy density of about 300 watt-hours per kilogram. Two versions of the truck with a payload of 36 tons are ready for mass production with a range of 480 and 800 kilometers, or 300 miles and 497 miles, carrying a price tag of $150,000 and $180,000 respectively. However, over time, the company plans to extend this to 621 miles. The Tesla semi-electric truck has already been seen on U.S. roads. For example, in the summer, prototypes of the truck were hooked up to deliver Tesla Model 3s to customers. Startup Undefined Technologies announced that it was able to create an ion engine using a patented air tantrum technology, capable of lifting a drone that measured 120 centimeters by 60 centimeters height into the air. The company plans to introduce a silent drone with a vertical takeoff and landing ion engine in the near future. The video shows a drone that looks like a pallet actually flying. Previously, ion engines have not been used on Earth because of unprecedented low traction. XDI Aircraft has unveiled the fastest cargo diesel-electric vertical takeoff and landing drone with a range of up to 370 kilometers. The American startup has long been working on the Tri-Fan 600 electric passenger vehicle, but due to technical difficulties and bureaucratic obstacles in certifying such a vehicle, the company temporarily decided to switch to a cargo version to launch the product on the market. XTI also abandoned the all-electric engine in order to increase the drone's range and payload capacity. The cargo version of the Tri-Fan will be able to carry 227 kilograms for a distance of up to 370 kilometers. The speed of this vehicle has not yet been specified. Drones are also being introduced in Britain, although currently they are ground-based. The startup, Academy of Robotics, has released its cargo robotic drones on the road. The electric drones will deliver medicines along public roads in the Hounslow borough of London. At first, the drones will be used under the watchful eye of operators. The cargo can travel nearly 100 kilometers on a single charge, and its engine will take 3 hours to fully charge. The robo-carrier is controlled by an artificial intelligence system that optimizes the route, manages the location, and dispenses of parcel containers, as well as self-learning and self-training over time to further optimize its performance. Like all robot cars, cargo is equipped with sensors and software capable of recognizing all kinds of obstacles, from pedestrians to roadwork at a distance of 100 meters. Israeli company Percepto, which developed drones for monitoring and analyzing industrial facilities, has launched an autonomous control and monitoring platform consisting of a bundle of Sparrow drone and Boston Dynamics ground-based four-legged robot Spot. Spot carries Percepto high-resolution imaging and thermal imaging equipment. It can detect various anomalies around a facility, including hotspots on machinery or electrical wires, water and steam leaks, and equipment with degraded performance. The data is transmitted back to the operators. If you caught up with us last week, you know that we already reported about Hyundai's acquisition of Boston Dynamics. But before Boston Dynamics formed a similar partnership with Trimble to expand the use of its robots in the construction industry. The deal gave Trimble exclusive rights to sell and support Spot with built-in scanning, total station, and GNSS technologies for the construction market. In just 5 months, the sale began. Boston Dynamics has sold more than 400 robots and generated more than $30 million in revenue. Anybotics, which also markets its four-legged robot Animal, showed an incredible video of amphibious robot dog calmly coming out of the water and diving back in. Animal can carry weights of 10 kilograms or 22 pounds, and the robot LiDAR and depth cameras for navigation assist in its travels. It maps the space around it in real time and can move on flat and sloping surfaces at speeds of about 1 meter per second. Ghost Robotics, whose robots already patrolled a military base in Florida, is intrigued by reports that its robots aren't just being used there. The company tweeted a photo of its robot against a snowy landscape without specifying the location of the new test. Ghost Robotics also announced the release of its new Vision 60 V5 QUGV robot from the lab, the features of which have not yet been disclosed. ABB unveiled a compact interior paint station designed to minimize space, cost, and environmental impact. The new compact interior paint station combines 12 robots and takes up to 33% less space than standard units. The compact interior paint system is suitable for painting any vehicle that includes 4 robots for opening doors, 2 robots for opening hoods and trunks, and 6 new 7-axis paint robots. The new IRB 5527 with a 3.8 meter wide working area and a choice of floor, wall, or ceiling mounting has an increased working angle and can reach further than any other painting robot. In addition, all station robots are equipped with ABB's Safe Move safety system and are suitable for collaborative work with humans. KFC launches their own unmanned food trucks for Kentucky Fried Chicken in China. The contactless restaurants on wheels sell ready-to-eat food with no one inside the vans. The company itself has yet to comment on this news. Pioneer Industrial Systems introduced a robotic unit that can be attached to any road maintenance vehicle. Although the video shows the robot only arranging and assembling cones, the company claims to have developed modules to perform various tasks, things like sealing cracks, applying paint, repairing potholes, collecting data, and more. Skydio has released a video compiling some of the best footage shot on the Skydio 2 drone by the company's customers in 2020. Have you already reviewed the year's results? Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and don't miss any new releases.